So today we're going to be talking about the three biggest fights the UFC can make in 2025. Starting off with the biggest, this is easily the biggest, is Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall. I think everybody can agree this is the fight that everybody wants. This is the fight that everybody needs. Jon Jones, Tom Aspinall need to unify the heavyweight division. I believe they are going to unify the heavyweight division this year. I think this fight will happen. My prediction is International Fight Week. We will see Jon Jones, Tom Aspinall. Do you know what? I want this fight this bad. I would be happy with this as the main event and all women's MMA fights throughout the card. That is what I'm willing to do to get this fight. An entire women's MMA card outside of the main event being Jon Jones, Tom Aspinall. That's what I'm willing to sacrifice for this fight.
But what the hell?
But Dana White has said this. Jon Jones himself knows this is such a big fight and it's a fight everybody wants. That's why he's kind of pricing himself out. But at this point, if this fight doesn't happen, it is on the UFC. Because yes, Jon Jones is asking for FU money, but the UFC have FU money to pay Jon Jones on this one-off occasion. And it's an investment that I think will work for the UFC because they pay this guy a boatload of money. This event makes a boatload of money. Tom Aspinall beats Jon Jones, makes him a megastar, and then they can continue to make boatloads of money off Tom Aspinall. In fact, they can even have the rematch. This is the biggest fight. There is no other option in the heavyweight division. If this fight doesn't get made, then the UFC may as well just terminate the heavyweight division because at that point, it is essentially fucking useless. This is the fight we need. It is the biggest. It is the moneymaker. Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall. Also, just a side note talking about this matchup, this is a lot closer than what people are letting on. A lot of people seem to feel like Tom Aspinall is going to walk through Jon Jones. I think Tom Aspinall will win. Let me get that out there first. I think this fight comes down. Why can't I speak? Comes down to a lot of different things, right? Number one being timing. Jon Jones is essentially at the end of his career. The guy has not much more to give. Tom Aspinall is hitting his prime. Stylistically as well, Tom Aspinall is a great boxer. He's very fast. He's explosive, extremely powerful. A Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. And he's going to be the same size, if not bigger, than Jon Jones on the night. But there is one key factor going into this. Jon Jones' best weapon is his fight IQ. I think this guy's the GOAT, even though a lot of people say, but he used PED, so how is he the GOAT? I still have him as the GOAT.
But what the hell?
But the thing I want to know, and I think Jon Jones will let us know in this matchup, is how good Tom Aspinall's defensive wrestling is. We don't know. We have not seen that yet. Jon Jones could go in there, he's one of the better wrestlers, top 5 in the UFC, maybe even we'll say top 5 in the UFC right now. Jon Jones can go in there and take Tom Aspinall down and just out-wrestle him. There's a high possibility. We don't know how good Tom Aspinall's takedown defense is. We are so unsure, but this is the moneymaker. Tom Aspinall deserves it. The guy's cleared out the heavyweight division, essentially. He deserves this fight. Make it happen. Make this fight happen. Moving on, we have got Khamzat Chimaev.
Brother.
Now, Khamzat Chimaev fighting anyone for the middleweight title is going to be one of the biggest fights of the year. But this opponent right here in particular, I feel like will have the build-up between Khamzat versus this guy right here is just going to be crazy. Who I'm on about is Sean Strickland. Obviously, I am predicting DDP to beat Sean Strickland by KO, but their first fight was extremely close, so could go to the decision, and Sean Strickland is declared the victor this time round. But even like I said, Khamzat versus DDP is a big fight, but Khamzat versus Sean Strickland, the build up to this fight, I think it'll be absolutely fucking chaos. We know Sean Strickland, we know what he says. I'm gonna fight my ass off for you guys. Maybe I need to work on my impressions, I don't know. But
what the hell?
Sean Strickland can talk a big game. He will say whatever the fuck he wants. Khamzat is a massive star in the UFC. Sean Strickland has also become a massive star, but Sean Strickland will say fucking anything. He'll bring up Kadyrov, he'll bring up anything about Khamzat being his immune system, anything, Sean Strickland will bring that shit up. This fight right here, I think in terms of the build-up, this could become one of the biggest fights of the year. I think this could become a top 10 UFC highest selling fight because of the build-up. I think Khamzat smokes Sean Strickland. Sean Strickland does have good takedown defense, don't get me wrong, and obviously in the later rounds, but I think Khamzat just fucking dominates this guy, takes him down the first round, smashes him to pieces and submits him, or just beats the living shit out of him and stops him with TKO, tree to ground and pound strikes. But the build up to this fight would be insane. I actually want to see this fight for the build up. Yeah, I think the build up would just be chaos. Like, fuck knows what Sean Strickland would say to this guy. Moving on to the final fight, we have got Islam Makhachev.
Brother.
This fight right here, I don't think we'll get it this year. I really don't. I really just don't see it happening. But Islam Makhachev versus Ilia Topuria.
I need the Max win.
This is one of the biggest fights the UFC can make. This guy right here is slowly becoming one of the biggest names in MMA, in combat sports. Ilia Topuria is on a crazy trajectory right now. Why can I never say that word? But this guy right here is becoming a massive, massive star. Islam Makhachev, he is the biggest star I think the UFC have. One of them anyway. Check the social media numbers. This guy has a crazy following. And we already are seeing the seeds being planted between him and Topuria. We know we've even seen Khabib talk about it. We know Ilia Topuria is desperate for this fight. He wants to fight Islam Makhachev. I think he has a good chance of beating Islam Makhachev, to be honest. I mean, the guy is obviously really, really powerful in there. He is a good grappler. A lot of people forget that when Ilia Topuria started his MMA career, he was a grappler. He's just really developed his boxing. But I think Islam would get the job done. I would predict Islam to beat Ilia Topuria in there because I feel like Islam has the kryptonite to Ilia Topuria, and that is head kicks. We've seen Jai Herbert catch Ilia Topuria with the head kick and hurt him in there. Islam does have good head kicks. Islam is a really good kickboxer, obviously, in his own right. Is an amazing grappler as well. I think this, I really want to see John Jones versus Tom Aspinall. That is the fight that I want to see this year.
I need the Max
badly.
win.
Like, if we didn't get any other fights but this year, I would be happy. This is probably a close second. I don't think we're going to get it this year, though. I just don't see it. I don't see this fight happening this year. I think after Islam beats Arman Sarukian, he is moving up. I think they might. I do believe we're going to see Bilal Muhammad versus Islam Makhachev this year. I know Islam and Bilal are boys and all that stuff, but as Khabib famously said,
Who cares, man?
I think we're going to get that fight. I think Islam is going to move up. I think this fight right here might be a 2026er, but could happen this year near the end of the year if Islam does stay. Because once he beats Volkanovski, you've got what, Diego Lopez? Nobody wants to see him fight Movsar Evloev, really. So there's a possibility this could happen. Nah, but I don't think Ilia Topuria would fight 3 times in a year, to be honest with you. I think Ilia Topuria is going to fight Volkanovski, then he's going to fight Diego Lopez. So this is more than likely going to be 2026, the more I think about it. But I'm hopeful. Yes, I am hopeful for today. But yeah, these are the 3 biggest fights the UFC can make this year. John Jones, Tom Aspinall, Khamzat Chimaev, Sean Strickland, and Islam Makhachev versus Ilia Topuria. Let me know your opinions in the comments below. And as always, like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And I will see you again in the next one.